And the NFL rule is they don't disclose it. I'm not quite sure why, but that's how that's been negotiated in the CBA. And my first reaction when I saw it while we were doing the show yesterday was, sure, yeah, accidental.
Yeah.
But then, the fact that the Bucks put out the statement, the fact that Bobby Portis' agent spoke on it, I thought the transparency actually made me feel a lot better. I also thought it was interesting. I saw yesterday that they considered appealing it, but there was too much risk, which I think what they were saying was if you lose the appeal, then it takes you into the postseason. So I actually, my thought process on it changed somewhat quickly once I saw, the Bucks naming the substance that he wasn't supposed to take, et cetera. I also had a few doctor friends of mine point out that doesn't make a whole lot of sense that would be something that would be on the banned list. But again, that's all above my level of knowledge.
You telling me, Jason, you didn't believe Jude Waddy?
Oh, now the Jude Waddy thing. Now that was one of my favorites. Like we got all the details, right? Like, it was some sort of liquid that he put under his tongue, and this, that, and the next thing, and look, I mean, let's be honest. In the NFL, there are plenty of guys, and unlike say baseball, no one cares, right? I mean, I enjoyed my 3 years with Julius Peppers. I really liked covering him. We had a really good working relationship. I wouldn't say that I know him well, but he had a fairly long suspension at one point in his career for using performance-enhancing drugs. Doesn't have any impact on him going in the Hall of Fame, right? Like the NFL is just a totally different world compared to baseball. And so, there was that whole thing at one point with Peyton Manning's wife and Clay Matthews and Julius Peppers and Mike Neal all having their names in some sort of dossier or whatever you want to call it from some place in Indianapolis that had some questionable performance-enhancing substances, and it just sort of all went away. So, again, I wish there was some sort of consistency through all leagues, but I think we can all agree that that'll never happen.
Jason, what did you think of the rendering on how the draft is going to be set up? I thought they had put the stadium in the backdrop, so I was a little surprised.
Yeah, so I was watching this this thing that the Fox affiliate up here in Green Bay did, Fox 11, and they've got a reporter, Ben Krumholtz, who, I mean, it was as thorough as anything I've ever seen done by local television. It was, I don't know how it aired on television, if it was a half-hour special or an hour special, but I watched it on their YouTube channel, and it was very, very detailed. And they spoke to the guy from the NFL, the VP who oversees all of the different aspects of the draft, and this guy's also in charge of all the foreign games. So he's like their events guy. And he had this great line about how from a TV perspective, they wanted Lambeau Field as when you took shots of the crowd, Lambeau Field is there because he said for the hero shot, you want the hero in it, and the hero is Lambeau Field. And if you look at the renderings, I mean, if they had put the stage in front of Lambeau, I mean, that stage is enormous, right? I mean, it's crazy that they can build something so large temporarily on Oneida Street and then tear it down. I was, again, watching this piece from Fox 11. It's gonna take them 2 weeks to remove every remnant of the NFL draft from Green Bay. So while the draft is long gone, us residents will still be dealing with road closures and everything else for another 2 weeks. But I thought that made sense because they also like to follow the prospect as he walks through the tunnel and comes out to get his hug from Goodell, and it's the last time that he'll ever be on good terms with Goodell, and then they show the crowd in the background. So it actually made sense once it was explained to me, but I agree with you, Chewy. The first thought I had is, why would this not be, why would Lambeau not be more prominently featured? It's also crazy to me, like, I think when we first heard about this, there weren't any details at all, and you were like, okay, so are they going to have it in the stadium? Like, is it going to be like when they have a concert where they have seating all on the field and then also in the stands? And based on the numbers that they're expecting, and hopefully weather, is cooperative, this is how they have to do it. This is how they did in Detroit. They have to build these stages, these theaters, to accommodate the number of people that are standing out there waiting for pick after pick after pick.
Yeah, because that's the problem, Jason. There's not a ton of open space around Lambeau Field the way that they've done it in other places, like Chicago, right, like Kansas City, because you have the residences, you've got the homes, and it's not like you can just go, oh yeah, we'll just tear those down, no, we'll put them back up just so we can create space. There's not a lot of natural space around Lambeau Field to have that many people.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm sure it's going to come off great. I know Rob Domofsky and I talked about this when it was first awarded to Green Bay, that, as people who have lived here, but we both lived here for a long time now, we were a little worried because we do get tired of people that kind of make us look small time, not only our beat writing corps, but our town. To quote the classic film Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, they're proud of their town. And so I didn't want us to come off as small time, but once I saw the renderings and I talked to some people that work in the building, like, the NFL really, there's a lot of things you can criticize about the NFL, but when they have events, they are first class all the way. And I don't think, I'm sure there'll be people that will struggle to find parking and they won't be happy with their
Jason, that happens with 80,000 people on game day.
Right. Exactly. So I'm sure that'll be an issue, but I don't think, if you're watching on television, I don't think the NFL will allow Green Bay to look like, what did they put the draft in that tiny town for? What a disaster.
Jason, good stuff. We appreciate your perspective. I did send the video to the gentleman so that they can watch it that you mentioned from Fox 11.
Well, good. I'm glad you did that for me.
Well, that's because you're too scared to send anything to Chewy because you got the number wrong once.
I did. I never text Chewy anymore. Like, even after you send me the right number. And then here's the question I have. I know you guys got to go, but, like, if you're on the receiving end of one of those, is there no, like, the worst part was I put all three of you on it, so whoever that rando was then had your numbers. I'm going to start writing handwritten letters to you guys if I ever have anything for you.
Doesn't sound very efficient, but I understand your hesitancy. Jason, have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, everybody, take care. Be good.
You can listen to Jason Wilde on Wilde and Tausch right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every morning here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. We'll take a break. We got to get to Craig Karmazin. I'm sure Craig will have an opinion on the Bobby Portis situation. Suspended 25 games. And I will say this, guys. Well, wait. I'll wait until Craig comes on to say what I was going to say. Go ahead, Gabe.
Well, I can't wait for this because Bunzel's this week has some great, fresh, homemade specials. USDA Prime Angus Sirloin Steaks, $15.99 a pound. Stuffed pork tenderloin, $7.99 a pound. Bunzel's homemade ham salad, $6.99 a pound. And fresh, all-natural bone-in pork steaks, $3.99 a pound. Of course, you can always check out their monthly meat deal. Just go to the website, bunzels.com. And when you stop by at Bunzel's, visit the deli. Grab some lunch, grab some dinner. They've always got great specials going on over there. Whether you want a sandwich, they got a little hot bar there, too. So many different things to check out. When you go to Bunzel's, 90th and Burleigh, you really need to check everything out. Find all the weekly specials and that monthly special at bunzels.com.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Eastbound 94 have a little bit of a backup from about 70th Street through the stadium interchange. Eastbound 894 a little heavy there right past Loomis. Other than that, everything else is looking pretty clear. Tsunami Express's new Oak Creek location at 6900 South 27th Street is now open. Free washes and $5 first month memberships from February 12th to the 23rd. Plus 100% of proceeds go to Special Spaces, Wisconsin. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, sunny skies with a high of 28. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 12 at the lakefront, 7 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazagon, 94.5 ESPN.
The wait is over. Brewers baseball is back. Time to pick your Brewers games and get back to the ballpark for tailgate traditions and walk-off wins. Be here for opening day. Come back for the big games and the best giveaways. Where else would you want to be? Brewers tickets for the 2025 season are on sale now. That's opening day and every game, all summer long. Get on board for the show today. Grab your seats at brewers.com/ticket finder.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I'm in a slump. My energy took a nosedive out of nowhere, and I just don't have the motivation to get things done.
You're over 40. Could be lower testosterone. Have you tried Nugenix Total T?
Nugenix, the testosterone booster on TV?
That's right. Look, I felt the same plunge in my energy after I turned 40, so I tried out Nugenix to see if it would help me.
Did Nugenix make a difference for you?
Night and day. My stamina is way up now. I'm building lean muscle at the gym. I'm totally back on my game. And you could be too. Just send a text to Nugenix. They'll send you a complimentary bottle so you can try it for yourself.
Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321-321. That's ROCK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to used cars, there's the rest. Then there's the best. Shop Wilde Automotive Group's best used cars right now, starting under $15,000. Choose from hundreds of hand-selected quality used vehicles, all with a 133-point inspection, all with a 3-day exchange policy, all starting under $15,000. Forget the rest. Drive the best. Get Ewald's best used cars starting under $15,000.
Go to ewaldauto.com.
See dealer for complete details. Exclusions may apply.
It's Friday, and that means it's time to check in with GKB President Craig Karmazin.
Gabe, you're right. I actually just looked at the stats. No hypocrite has ever won a championship.
Fridays with Mo.
Mark Attanasio, the last thing he wanted to do was play a video and tribute Craig Counsell in any way. So I give Mark Attanasio a ton of credit.
Craig Karmazin on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is sponsored by Landworks Landscape Services. Their creative and talented team will design, build, enhance, and maintain beautiful landscapes in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more and see their work at landworkswisconsin.com.
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Friday. Getting down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend party.
Craig Karmazin joining the show in just a few moments. We started the show talking about the Bobby Portis 25-game suspension. I appreciated the explanation-ish of the league announced the suspension, right? Shams 25-game suspension, because immediately afterward, guys, social media was popping off. Oh, Bobby Portis playing in snow. Look at Bobby Portis. You know he's the type of guy who does drugs. That's part of the reason why his people were like, nah, man, we got to shut this down. Like, this is what happened. This is what it really was. Because the way that the league announces these things, Chew, it leaves an awful lot to the imagination.
Yeah, but you can understand people's hesitation just from past athletes trying to come up with a story or to CYA, you know. Like Jason said, he was skeptical. I mean, it kind of explained it. Sure, I can see how it happened, but it's still not right. You shouldn't be going to your buddies for prescription drugs. It's just not smart.
Like, you don't go to your buddies now for prescription drugs. I mean, now it's different.
Well,
you're not
the Blammer,
in the league.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's over
right.
the counter
Viagra.
now, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty sure.
You don't need a prescription.
Yeah.
You don't need us for
Yeah.
Right, but when this was occurring, wasn't it still being regulated in that way?
We are glass houses here.
Yeah. Well, I'm suspended from the show. I just got the news. Can't be doing that. Yep. I'm turning myself in.
Good morning, Craig. How you doing today?
I'm great. Chewy, didn't you have that friend? Wasn't he called like the pharmacist, or what did you call that guy?
The Blammer.
He was
The
a
Blammer.
pharmacist.
Yeah, Craig, you know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. He is a pharmacist, so if I gave him, he could, well, yeah.
Careful.
Craig. Yeah, I'm treading lightly.
Josh, you're very
Craig.
close to being Chewy's assistant right now. I just want to put it out there.
Yeah. Who would I blame out of the three?
Oh, Gabe for 1,000,000%.
Craig, a couple of questions here. When did you get, as you know, you own the Tundra Trio, right? Did you get advance notice of how this was going to be, and are you happy with it because you're kind of far away from where the stage is going to be? Were you hoping for a better placement of the stage?
I was like, wait, so I own the Tundra Trio, so Bobby Portis, how did I get notified? All right, I get where you're going with this now.
Yeah.
We're talking about the draft. I get it. No, we got super advanced notice just because of our relationship with ESPN, and ESPN is working very closely with the NFL on the plan for the draft, and we're beyond excited about the location and where we are and the ability to be able to, have some great events there for our partners and create some great content for our fans. So it's like a once in a lifetime experience when you're in a small market. You're not going to, in a cold market like this, you're never going to have the Super Bowl. So the one thing you're ever going to have is the NFL draft. And for it to come to Green Bay is still a little surprising for me because of hotel rooms and what a big event this has become. So for me, I'm not caught up in which direction the stage faces. I'm just beyond excited to have an event like this coming to Wisconsin.
So let's dive into, I thought that Chewy was going to start with Bobby, but when you saw the news break and you saw everything play out the way it did yesterday with the statement from the Bucs, the statement from Bobby and his team, your thoughts on Bobby's 25-game suspension?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as a team, we're supporting Bobby, and as a team, it's disappointing because he's such an important part of the team. And we saw Jericho Sims play last night, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on different guys to step up. And it's a critical part of the season. I think the one thing it does is, and this is just my opinion, not from the team at all, it ensures you're going to have a really fresh legs and a guy who's going to be able to get into a little rhythm, coming back into the postseason.
Craig, I'm still struggling with it. And I subscribe to all of the things that are being said this morning, which are rules are rules. Bobby made a mistake. He's responsible for what goes into his body. But if the league really wants to avoid the addiction, which apparently is the reason why this is on the banned substance list, because it is a potentially addictive substance, isn't there a way of just repeatedly testing him over a stretch of time to see that it's not in his system, that he isn't developing an addiction to this product, and go from there? And again, I hear how it sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. I understand the rules. What he did was wrong. But I also think 25 games feels very harsh for what I believe and I'm willing to do is chalk it up as a mistake.
As a team, we're supporting Bobby Portis, and we're really supporting him while he is out for this period of time, and excited for the second half of the season.
You need to write it down, buddy. You're not. If you really want to deliver the statement the same every time, write it down, put it in your pocket, pull out the card.
I'm not delivering a statement. I'm just speaking from the heart. Why would you think I'm delivering a statement?
I don't know, the tone in which you delivered it
sounded real heartfelt.
Craig, is he allowed in the building?
I am supporting Bobby.
Is he allowed in the building, or does he have, like the NFL, you just got to go somewhere
Disappear?
and come back after 25 games?
Yeah, I mean, he was not on the bench last night, and what I can tell you is, as a team, we're supporting Bobby Portis.
Good
and
grief.
Suck. Yeah. All right, you can go now. We don't need you anymore.
Well, I just appreciate that. And, just to Jen's point, in the 7 o'clock hour, I just want to add that as a team, we're supporting Bobby Portis. And,
wonderful. Craig, I asked
asked
everyone this yesterday. Did I ask Jason? As a GM, if you were the GM, I don't care if it's basketball, soccer, volleyball, really don't care. I'm talking professional. Would you rather have a window half open for 8 years or wide open for 4?
I would rather have the 4, but I think because as a GM, I think I would want to have a vision and be building something. And so I think half open feels like you're not in play for a championship, whereas I'd rather kind of be building toward the championship. So I know it's a vague question, but I think I'd go with wanting to build for it. So I actually have the window open.
Craig, we saw, the Four Nations thing for the NHL, huge success. Had a great game last night to cap it all off between USA and Canada. And it took the NHL a while to figure out something to do with their all-stars, and they hit on something with this where they got the player buy-in and obviously everybody cared. Is there anything the NBA can do where they can get the buy-in to this level of their players for an exhibition?
As a league, we're supporting Bobby Portis. I was out in San Francisco and was at All-Star Saturday night and watched Sunday in its entirety, and it's just not that good, right? And back in the day, it wasn't always awesome, but there were so many less options, and it was closer to the actual play. And what we saw with the NHL is they didn't just match what they were doing in the regular season. Connor McDavid said it after the game last night. That was best on best, and I think they elevated. Right? So it was even better than a regular season game, but you had best on best from these 4 countries. It was so good. And so I don't know that the NBA can get there, but the NBA is such, an incredible product that if you could get close to what a regular season game is with the best, if you can make the skills and 3-point and slam dunk, if you can get a more of a star factor in there, these guys are just so athletic and talented that, I think it would be an easy way for people to see the difference. And if the fear is injury, I just don't totally get it because, guys have to play hard a lot, and it can happen any time, right? People are playing basketball all the time if you're a basketball player.
How many times do we see these guys, scrimmaging and playing pickup games as part of their regimen during the offseason? And I'm sure they're not playing like it's Game 7 of the finals and that, but just give me that effort. Because I know they're trying. I've seen the videos of them, playing pickup in whatever random gym. I've seen the effort they put in for to that. Translate that to the All-Star game.
Yeah, I think the natural thought was either you go back to East versus West and you give Game 7 of the NBA Finals home court, which I don't know that. I think we saw that in baseball, and I don't know how much that totally moved the needle. But, I do think there is national pride, and I don't know that it's just USA versus the world. I think you could maybe straight rip off what is being done by hockey and maybe not have, the pool play into a championship, but maybe it is 8 teams, and it's just a straight tournament, and you win 3 games, and you win. And I don't know exactly how you played out because you don't want if teams lose one, right away. If it's in the U.S. and the U.S. lost the first game, I don't know how you keep the excitement for the rest of it. So maybe you need to, exactly steal that format. But I think there would be national. I think there'd be national pride if this was in some way a preview.
There would be, Craig, but if you take the political climate out of it, it's nowhere near as good. Would you agree?
Oh, no. The USA-Canada thing we can definitely say whether you are a Republican or Democrat, Donald Trump made the USA-Canada rivalry better for this last week,
totally.
right? Like, we know that absolutely, did that. And so, that was lightning in a bottle. The idea that get-in tickets for that game in Boston last night were $1,000. The cheapest price to get in the building for that game was $1,000. 30% of the tickets were purchased from Canada. People purchased tickets from 28 countries for that game last night. I mean, that was really, really special. And then it lived up to the hype, right? You got a goalie making all these incredible saves. I mean, it was fantastic.
Greg, before we let you go, I would like to get your take on the Mark Atanasio comments from earlier this week. We had a good debate. I wasn't here on Wednesday or Thursday, but the guys had a really good debate about what an owner's job is. What did you make of the way that Mark Atanasio sort of put winning a World Series and providing entertainment and passion and a way for families to come together in that statement?
As an organization, we're really behind Bobby and supporting Bobby Portis during this time. Now, Mark Atanasio, right? Like, he's not a journalist. He's not that's not his job. So how he answered the question is pretty irrelevant to me. I think what we know is that two things are true. Mark Atanasio is unbelievably competitive, so much so that if there's a knock on him as an owner, that it might be that he sometimes wants to get too involved because he wants to acquire that player that's going to get him over the top and maybe not always stick with the exact process that his general manager has laid out for him.
What player is that?
I hope people were watching on the YouTube stream because all of us, every one of us to a man, went like this.
Yeah.
What reputation is this?
I mean, do you remember the Gagne signing? Does anyone remember that?
Wait.
Eric Gagne is your guy? That's where we're going?
That's where we're going.
Okay, even if you give him Eric Gagne, Craig, that's almost 20 years ago, man.
I know. And what he's done then is trusted the process and trusted his leadership. And what you've seen is consistent winning and the team in place to potentially, win championships just about every year, which is virtually impossible in a market our size. So I think Mark Atanasio has a deep passion for winning. He wants to win. That is obvious. And it's also obvious that he knows that in a market this size, if there was sustained losing, that it might not be economically feasible to operate the team. So he's been able to both consistently win and put the team with a chance to win a championship. Well, how is that wrong, Chewy?
He wants to make money, and on the way to making money, hopefully win a World Series, where it should be the opposite. It should be the opposite.
You should want to win. What do you think he does with the money he makes? What do you think he does with the money he makes? Do you think he's building a house?
Doesn't he have a soccer team? Doesn't he own a and that's fine if you...
No, what he does with the money he makes is builds a new complex in Arizona for spring training. What he does is renovates American Family Field. Like, they don't take money out of the team and live for it and put it in his pocket. Yes, they do, right? I mean, when there's a $500 million renovation, they're going to get some help. But the money they make from this team, they're putting back into things that infinitely make the fan experience or player experience better.
Well, yes. Okay. Because it feels like he is prioritizing the fan experience. And what we keep going back to is, you know what fans really love? You know what is really fun for fans? Winning. And winning a World Series.
Wait, so you think last year the Brewers did not have a good enough team to win?
I think this year, Craig, no. First of all, don't ask a question and then say, are you crazy, before I answer the question. I think that you lost two really important players in Devin Williams and Willie Adames. And I think fans wanted the team to address those needs. If you were on the cusp of it last year and
fans think that. I don't think fans think that. I think they saw them lose Corbin Burns the year before, and what they do each year is replace it with equal to greater value in an efficient way. I think fans trust this organization more than you do, Jen.
I think you're wrong. You're wrong. Yeah.
Have you seen Moneyball?
Put it on the poll.
We will
put it on the poll.
There certainly are fans who drink the water. There certainly are fans who everything the team does, they know what they're doing. They've got our best interest. There certainly are. But Craig, you should scroll through social media the other day when those comments from Mark Atanasio.
Come on. If you're going to scroll through social media, you're going to get people saying all sorts of
You
things.
just told us to
do
pull
that.
it on
Like,
social
take
media.
a comment here or there.
You're not picking a comment.
You're going to get ratio, Jen. You're going to get ratio.
No, in fact, what did we put on the poll the other day? We said, did the comments bother you? It was like 90%.
Yeah.
90% of people said that the comments bothered them, Craig. It bothered them that
Again,
Mark
I
Adonazio was saying,
understand
is it
the
my job
context.
to win a World Series or is it my job to entertain you?
Right.
Both.
What I said is I don't think that's his job isn't to be the best communicator, and the way he said it is not how, if he was going through a PR coach, how they would have had him say it, and that's why it became not just a local story but a national story. But in terms of what Mark Attanasio believes and how he leads this organization, I don't think there's an argument to be made that they're not all about putting this team in position to contend every year, because that's the facts of what they do.
Contend for what?
A championship.
I disagree.
Why did Craig Counsell leave? Why did he leave? Why did Craig Counsell
I mean,
leave?
how?
You're
So
gonna
you
say
think
'cause
last
of the
year
money
they did
and
not
that's
contend
it?
for a championship?
Yeah, Moneyball is a great story, but what's the GM go into the owner of the Oakland A's and say, just give me a little bit more and I'll get you that championship?
But I'm saying
have to say
last
that.
year. I mean, Devin, you're so upset that Devin Williams is gone. If Devin Williams got those 3 outs, they advanced to the next round, right? Like, and could they have lost to the Dodgers and not made the World Series? Like, absolutely, right? The Dodgers are a flukish team that's going to be really tough for anybody to beat in a 7-game series. But this team was built and set up to win better than any of us believed last year. And so then to come back and say we don't trust this team, I don't understand where that would come from.
Well, you had a GM leave who went to the Mets, right? And then you had a manager who everyone loved that went to the Cubs. And don't say it was just for money. I'm not dumb enough to
I'm not
say
saying it's just for money
part
at
of
all.
it's not.
No, I'm not saying it's just for money at all. I was the most supportive of Craig Counsell of anyone on this station.
The funny part is, too, is the Cubs aren't spending either. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. The Mets are.
Yeah, that's a different story, yes.
Yeah.
The Mets are spending a ton, and who had the better regular season last year, right? The Brewers had a significantly better regular season than the Mets, and the Mets, in a flukish short series, happened to beat the Brewers closer, who I think we all felt good about the position that the Brewers were in. I mean, you can't argue right now against the results that we've seen consistently on the field. Look at the overall payroll that's been spent by all the teams in the division, and look at the overall wins over the last 10 years or the entire time of Mark Attanasio's ownership. It's really tough to argue that Mark Attanasio wants to win.
Really tough to argue that Mark Adonasio wants to win.
Craig
Does it want to
misspoke.
win?
Yeah, Craig misspoke.
Okay, just making sure. All right, Craig, we're not going to see eye to eye on this thing. I obviously didn't get a chance to weigh in on it when we were talking about it, but I did want to bring it up with you. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you again very soon.
Thanks. I just want to make sure everyone knows that we as an organization.
We know. Cut his mic. Just cut his
He's
mic.
out of here.
Thank
I've
you.
had enough of that.
Appreciate that. My goodness.
Looking for a localized banking solution and a strategic partner, Fifth Third Bank has been shaping the future for businesses for 167 years, and for the last 15 right here in Milwaukee. We offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making, and extensive experience to help navigate your ever-changing business landscape with your business in mind. At Fifth Third, we're big enough to provide sophisticated solutions and expert guidance, yet empowered to make local decisions and build strong community connections. Experience the commercial banking value that only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. College? You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. Hi, it's Gina Della from Pella. With Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, you get so much more than stunning windows and doors. You get the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. A 10-year labor warranty is always included, so your windows and doors are secure for years to come. Our expert installers are available year-round and can install in as little as a day. If something ever goes wrong, Pella will handle it ASAP because you work with the same team from start to finish. Oh my gosh, why wait? Get the Pella experience and this incredible deal. 0% interest for up to 6 years on brand new Pella windows and doors. Set your free in-home consultation today at palawi.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
Fingers come in different sizes,
It's one of the first things you learn as a jeweler,
and a ring can only be sized up or down a little bit.
which means it's a really good thing to know your ring size.
And it's an even better thing to know their ring size.
This is why we're announcing
The Ring Size Registry at Kessler's.
we're doing it as a public service. It's completely free.
Free. Isn't that a great price?
Here's how it works.
Just drop into any Kessler's Diamonds location and tell one of the owners that you'd like to know your ring size.
Kessler's is an employee-owned company, so whoever greets you at the door is an owner.
They'll determine your ring sizes and add them to our Ring Size Registry.
Then, when someone wants to know your ring size,
Because, maybe they want to surprise you.
all they have to do is call or stop into Kessler's.
Surprises can be fun, don't you think?
We're happy to do this for you, even if you don't buy a ring from us.
But after you take a look around, we think you probably will. Visit KesslersDiamonds.com for a location near you and register your ring sizes today.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
At Gruber Law Offices, our biggest priority is the care and service we provide to our clients. We know accidents can be overwhelming, and we're here to help every step of the way. Call now. One call, that's all.
People often wonder, what's the credit union difference? Well, let me tell you what's different about Educators Credit Union. We're more than just a financial institution. We're a team of people who are actively invested in the next generation and in the communities where you live and work. We're in classrooms teaching financial literacy, in neighborhoods building homes and relationships, and in local communities lending a helping hand. We believe when communities thrive, we all thrive. Educators Credit Union, achieving more together. Insured by NCUA.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I mean, this world is geared towards women. Like, what do we
I am
get?
stepping away from this. Goodbye.
Like, what do we get? They get a comb that dries your hair. We get a stupid razor.
Hey,
What's the coolest thing we get? They get the hair dryer?
Control.
On 94.5 ESPN.
I let it go, 'cause I won't see you later when we're not allowed to talk it out. I said I'd go, put myself on the show, but I'm still trying to figure it out. I broke my shoe, took the fell on you, but you didn't know I planned it out. I said I'd go.
Weird morning so far, gang. It's been strange.
It's a Friday. It usually is.
Okay, fair enough. Let's regroup. I'll chalk it up to Fridays. Let's regroup. I have a lot of thoughts. I have so many thoughts that I'm like struggling to know where to even start with this whole thing. Am I a lunatic? Am I crazy on my... I don't necessarily know that Mark Atanasio is chasing championships. Am I a lunatic in this thought of like, the Brewers are doing well. They are winning games. They are a winning franchise. All of that is well and good. I think there is a portion of the fan base, and I am part of it, that wants to see them take the next step. And I know, Gabe, you keep going back to the flukiness of baseball. Mm-hmm. Is there any part of you that feels like that's sort of where we are right now, that the Brewers are sort of on this roulette wheel, and if it lands on red, or I guess blue, if it lands on blue, amazing, we're going to have a great time with it, but for the most part, we're okay if it doesn't?
Yeah, because, baseball is random. The Brewers were better than the Mets last year. They just were. They weren't better in that particular instance because Devin Williams was tipping pitches, and Pete Alonso was not good last year, but he was really good in that moment. Like, to the point where nobody wanted to sign Pete Alonso and had to take a lesser deal to go back to the Mets this year because he stunk last year. It wasn't that good. But Devin Williams tipped a pitch and he was able to hit it out of the ballpark at the right time. And that's just it's how baseball goes sometimes. It stinks because they've been on the bad side of it so many times, but that they just want to keep giving themselves another seat at the table. And what they're scared of is signing a huge contract that doesn't work out, and then that sets them back, and it doesn't even give them a seat at the table.
I think the extremely frustrating part is I agree full-throated with what Gabe said. There is randomness, and sometimes you're going to lose series.
It's
hope
how the Diamondbacks went to a World Series.
You hope
it's how
to be
the
on the right
Rangers
end.
did.
The frustrating thing from a fan standpoint is I don't think the Brewers are even really concerned about getting better in the margins, and that means by spending. So they will try and improve the team through the avenues they see fit, trading prospects, moving prospects up and down. But if there is a guy out there that could potentially take you from a B+ to an A- team, they're often not going to do that, and largely because they are not interested in spending the extra $10 to $15 million.
I would argue that that's the one margin that, yes, maybe they're not as interested in winning, because I think they know they have to win in all the other margins.
Right.
They got to have a great manager, got to have a great GM, got to have a great scouting staff, have to have a great minor league system to be able to develop these players that make their way to the major leagues. Those are the margins where they're winning. The one margin they don't cover, I would agree, is the spending of the money.
But I think the biggest evidence of an owner that shows he wants to win a World Series is when they do a blockbuster trade at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When they brought in CC Sabathia, they were like, we haven't been in the playoffs or whatever, but we're getting this guy and we're making a run at it. Right? And it worked. Wasn't that the first time they made the playoffs in a long time?
Yeah. So I think
that's evidence of an owner saying, "Yep, I smell it. Let's go get it. Do whatever it takes to get it done."
True.
They haven't done that. When's the last time they've done that?
2018, when they went to the NLCS and went to Game 7. Because not only did they
who'd they trade for at the dedeadline that was a big name?
Moustakas. They traded for Moustakas.
He was a trade deadline guy?
Yeah, Moustakas was a trade deadline. Yeah, and he was huge because he was willing to move from third base to second base. And that offseason, they acquired Yelich and Kane, and they were aggressive that year. And I think that's proof for a lot of people, like, okay, just give us a Lorenzo Cain type, somebody who's not a Christian Yelich, but you're willing to give $80 million to, not $180 million.
Yeah.
We will take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Still a lot of stuff to get to in the second hour of the program. Stick around.
Looks like we got a little bit of a problem on 84th Street. It looks like you can't go southbound on 84th, right underneath the freeway. We got police blocking off that area, and that is affecting your ride, backing things up onto the freeway westbound 94 at 84th. So careful with that. Beyond that, we do have delays from about 25th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound 94 is slowing down from about 76th Street to 35th. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Sunny skies with a high of 28. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 12 at the lake, 7 inland. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their two-man scramble tournament and play TPC Scottsdale for a chance to win cash through the 28th. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
Love is in the air at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This February, play to your heart's content in the Love It or Leave It $300,000 game show. Thursday night, you could love your prize or leave it for another. For a chance to cuddle up to thousands in cash and prizes, just play using your rewards card. Get ready to love it or leave it. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at PaysBig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How do we feel about accountability? Are we pro accountability or are we out on accountability?
I don't think there's accountability anymore.
Anywhere?
Ladies and gentlemen, last year, our city council passed a Good Samaritan law. Now, this group
from New York not only ignored, but as we will prove, they actually mocked the victim as he was being robbed at gunpoint.
Rich coming from the guy who's not held accountable here.
Gabe gets punished when you get in trouble and you're talking about accountability, a lack of accountability.
I'll admit when I'm wrong.
They have quite a record of mocking and maligning. This is a history of selfishness, self-absorption, immaturity, and greed.
All right, so outside of Chewy, are we pro accountability?
15% of the people just did it for spite.
You think?
Yes, everyone piles on.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable. This time, they are the ones who will pay.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we see.
Bucks got the victory last night over the Clippers, 116-110. Nice to have Giannis back out on the court. And Giannis has been talked about a lot recently. I'm not sure if you guys have seen. So apparently Giannis did an interview with a Greek reporter. Was it Greek television? Was it a Greek podcast?
Yes, Cosmote TV.
What was the
favorite channel?
Yeah.
Oh, you get that one?
You got it on your favorites, do you?
Mm-hmm.
What did Giannis say? Okay, just so you guys know, I saw multiple translations of this. Okay, good. You guys did as well. I just was like, wait, that's sort of what I read in the other one, but not exactly what I read.
The generalities all the same.
The generalities were what? Gabe, go ahead and give me the translation of what Giannis said on Greek TV.
I don't think that I would ever text and ask for a trade. I am not this kind of guy. They would have to kick me out.
So again, there's always talk of how long Giannis will stay in Milwaukee from the national media, from the NBA reporters. We have said here on this program and others, it doesn't really feel like people want Giannis in Milwaukee. It's like they think it's an inevitability that eventually he's going to have to go somewhere else. So one day after Giannis says on Greek TV that they would have to drag him out of Milwaukee, he would not request a trade. Shams responds by saying Giannis loves Milwaukee, but he loves winning more. Take a listen.
Matt, everyone knows Giannis Antetokounmpo loves the Bucks, but I'm here to tell you he loves winning more, and that's why everyone within that Bucks organization, they know what's at stake this season. They know the pressure. And every summer when Giannis looks around and he looks at the Bucks' current roster, he looks at sustained long-term winning. Where will he be able to find that? And he has said publicly on the record, if he feels like that's not attainable anymore in Milwaukee, he will look elsewhere.
There's a lot of... I mean, the thing I heard was an if. If... Whatever he said at the end of the thing. If that's not attainable in Milwaukee, he will look elsewhere. Is there any reason to believe right now, Gabe, that that's not attainable in Milwaukee?
No, there's no reason to believe this. Again, yes, Shams, Giannis has been on the record. Like we talked about that like 2 years ago at this point. He also was on the record from, I don't know, the day before you said this, that he would have to be kicked out. That's what would have to happen, that he's probably not going to do, I'm not going to ask for a trade. They're going to have to kick me out. Does that not change any of this narrative? No, because apparently this is what you have to do. Nobody wants Giannis in Milwaukee except for the people of Milwaukee, so you got to talk about Giannis going somewhere else. And just it's same record, just playing it all over again. It's fine. This is what you want to talk about. Fine, just go ahead and talk about it. It's just exhausting at this point. Like Giannis is going to retire a Buck, and then they're going to go, well, he still might not want his jersey retired. I don't know what they're going to do when Giannis retires as a member of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, but then what do they do if they're ousted in the first round or second round of the playoffs, don't really make a splash? Then what do you do?
It depends upon how it happens, because the big reason why they've been ousted the last 2 years, Chew.
Injuries?
Yeah.
And specifically an injury to Giannis. And Giannis knows that, which is why he was on a minutes restriction last night, which is why he didn't play a handful of games leading into the All-Star break and didn't play in the All-Star game itself, because he wants to be available for the postseason, because he knows a big reason why this team has not had success the last couple of seasons is because of his availability in those postseason games.
So what's their window right now? And what is it in the future? Is their window half open?
It's a draft.
Oh, like a draft, like a.
Yeah, I was like,
it's closed,
right.
but it's leaking.
I thought you were talking about the NBA draft, and I was like, I don't know, that hasn't really worked out all that well for the Bucks in recent years.
No, they need to replace some of the weather stripping because there's
Call
air
Gina
leaking
Della
through.
from Pella.
There you go.
The problem with what he said, Shams, is this: doesn't it apply to everyone? Doesn't it apply to
only Giannis.
Doesn't it apply to all of us? If all of a sudden I felt like I didn't have a chance to be successful here at Good Karma Brands, wouldn't I, the competitor, the person who chases success, the type A personality, wouldn't I also start looking around to see if there was an opportunity elsewhere to do those things I wanted to do, to achieve those goals that I had set? Like, I don't know why we act like Giannis is some alien who has different expectations from what he wants out of life.
Well, he is an alien. Just differently than the way you're talking about. Because, I mean, see that guy move on the floor?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
That's
unicorn.
They ain't of this earth. I'll tell you that right now.
I wasn't that outraged by these comments. I think they're just using a big name to kind of have a conversation we all know that the Bucks are having pretty much daily inside the building of what are we going to do to keep Giannis here and to keep this franchise a winner. It comes off, especially with the timing, as they're trying to get Giannis out of here. But I think Shams is just telling us something we all know implicitly. The Bucks have to keep up. They have to keep their window open, and they have to keep Giannis happy. And I don't think anybody in the Bucks organization would be like, yeah, that's not our key number one job.
Yeah.
It's just part of the deal.
When Giannis said it himself, like that was, we talked with Craig about it. Like that was not a shock to anybody within the organization.
Right.
Like they knew that. Like, and to the Bucks' credit, they tried to come up with different things. There's a reason they traded for Dame. But before, like, we got to see Dame and Giannis in the postseason together before we know whether or not that can work in the postseason. And we did not see them play a single minute.
Do you think teams call?
Well, after the Luka trade,
any interest in trading? And he hangs up the phone and says, "Forget about it."
Yeah, pretty much. But after the Luka trade, Chew, like, don't you just call and ask about everybody now? Like, you just call and ask about anybody. You got to check in.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody like Luka can get traded, you got to call and check in on everybody. Otherwise, you're not doing your job.
On the off chance they just make a mistake, having a bad day.
Yeah, right?
Like,
I mean, just start with the no.
I didn't take the call. My assistant took the call, and my assistant handed me the phone. I wasn't really entertaining offers to trade Giannis. Again, I think it's just really important, guys, to hear what was being said there by Shams. He said every summer when Giannis looks around and he looks at the Bucks' current roster, he looks at sustained long-term winning. He has said publicly on the record, if he doesn't feel that's attainable in Milwaukee, he will look elsewhere. So again, so far, the Bucks continue to make moves to go out and try to bolster a roster around Giannis Antetokounmpo to put them in a position to be a top team. Any concern for you right now, Gabe, where they sit in the Eastern Conference?
No, because, I mean, maybe they fall to 6 with the injury to Bobby. I doubt it. I mean, they've got some interesting back-to-backs coming up on their schedule, but there are only 6 teams above 500 right now in the East. That's it. 6 teams above 500. Everybody else in the play-in below 500. I don't expect the Bucks to fall below 500 and fall into that spot where they're going to be in the play-in.
Do they need to be a top 3 team in the East to give you confidence for them to make a deep playoff run, or is your opinion they can do it from anywhere?
Oh, they can do it from the 4 or 5 spot. That's what we saw last year with the Mavericks. The Mavericks were the 5 seed. Like, nobody saw that coming, and they were able to put it together in the postseason. If they're the 4-5, that actually might be better because you're avoiding the Celtics longer. Like, I think the Bucks can match up with the Cavaliers, who are running away with the Eastern Conference. That's, to me, a better second-round matchup than the Celtics are. If you can push off the Celtics for as long as you possibly can, I think that's a good spot to be in. So, yeah, I want them to climb as high as they can, but if you're in the 4-5 game, or 4-5 series, excuse me, that's not that bad spot of a that's
Ron
not that bad of a spot to be.
Weighing in on the Carbless Talk and text line, Ron says, I think the other side of this conversation is if Giannis feels they don't do enough to win, he can frame it as they made the choice to kick him out. So he would frame it as they made this happen, not him.
But also, again, I think we have to remember he's been out the last 2 years. The way Giannis is probably looking at this is the reason why we haven't had success is because one of the best players in the NBA, hasn't been available to my team. I think that's the way Giannis is also looking at this right now. It's because otherwise he would have probably tried to play in the All-Star game, in those other games, play through a minutes restriction. This is the first time they've ever put a minutes restriction on Giannis. Like, there was a tight game last night for the last 6 minutes, and he didn't play at all last night.
Yep.
I just looked at the Vegas odds for their chances to win it all. And they're tied for 7th, which is not horrible.
No.
Right? I mean, it's not horrible.
Like the Packers are below that, and there are people out there that'll tell you that the Packers are Super Bowl contenders.
Although I will tell you this, guys, remember when we were talking about how Potawatomi Sportsbook had the odds of Giannis being the MVP of the league at plus 10,000, and we were like, hey, man, drop $10 on that. Yeah. Hold on to that ticket. Yeah. You just never know. The minutes restrictions over the however long it extends makes me a little less confident. I mean, again, I wasn't real confident in a plus 10,000 bet, but the minutes restriction makes me a little less confident in that happening. And Josh, he reminds me it's a good time for me to talk about my friends over at Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you aren't making your wagers at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, you are missing out on an elite experience. It's a complete sports betting paradise. State-of-the-art venue with self-service betting kiosks, seating for more than 200 people, a first-class bar and restaurant, VIP deck, and the broadcast booth. But I am not going to forget to talk about the giant video wall that is over 2,000 square feet. You can watch all of the games all at once. They have figured it all out. Bet above the rest only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel's new sportsbook.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have some delays along southbound 43 coming in from Keith down towards Center Street. Eastbound 94, a little bit tight right through the stadium interchange. Westbound has cleared up nicely. We're not really seeing any delays there. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, sunny skies, a high of 28. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 12 at the lakefront, 7 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Nestled along the shores of Lake Michigan, the Knickerbocker Hotel offers a timeless escape in the heart of Milwaukee. Immerse yourself in the rich history of this iconic landmark where charm meets modern luxury. Picture yourself enjoying breathtaking lake views, luxurious rooms, and dining at one of the finest restaurants in the city. Whether you're visiting for a weekend getaway or a special occasion, the Knickerbocker promises an unforgettable experience. Your perfect stay awaits at the Knickerbocker Hotel. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockeronthelake.com.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Picture it. Beautiful plants, freshly mowed lawn, crisply edged flower beds, and your grilling dinner out on an incredible back patio. Landworks Wisconsin is ready to plan your green space. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all your landscaping needs. Their team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are things getting a little stale? Need to bring back some excitement? Rekindle the romance and love your ride this month at Cunis. Your Milwaukee Metro Region Cunis dealerships are showing the love with new vehicle specials you'll adore at nearby locations in Oak Creek and Greenfield. From the affordable Buick and Vista SUV to the rugged GMC Sierra pickup, they have vehicles for every budget. Thinking pre-owned? Visit your local dealership website for a sweetheart deal on one of our 10 pre-owned super specials and swipe right for service specials on brakes, tires, and oil changes.
I'm Brian Bohm, General Manager of Cunis of Oak Creek.
And I'm Bill Eater, General Manager of Cunis of Greenfield.
We would like to invite you to take advantage of these great monthly specials.
And remember that your vehicle will be covered by our exclusive No Fear Lifetime Powertrain Warranty, included with new and qualified pre-owned purchases.
Call or stop in today for your VIP appointment.
Love your ride this month at Cunis. Start your search online at CunisBuickGMC.com.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
My father would always say, and there's a rhyme and a reason to it. He said, if you wear your rubbers in the house, you'll go blind. Do the two youngsters on the show here even know what rubbers are? I'm talking the ones that go over the shoes.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We've got Weekend Rechew coming up shortly here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. And Chew, I need your advice on something. I was just going through the old credit card transactions.
This is a great list. This is fantastic.
So I said it's amazing how quickly the number will jump when you have to put a $7,000 transmission. Thank you. I had people yesterday at this event I was at go, so how's the car? And I was like, not great, Bob. I mean, it's great now. And by the way, shout out to EVS up in Saukville, guys. They got me the new transmission in 24 hours.
Damn,
I dropped the car off on Monday, and they called me on Tuesday night and were like, it's done. You can come and pick it up. I was like, you sure you don't want to keep it? How much are you willing to give me for it now? No, just kidding. $7,000 for a new transmission on the Tahoe. $3,600 to get the whole thing rewired because the electric went out. So it's amazing how quickly the credit card number will jump. But I couldn't help but notice a few things here that are not my purchases on the old credit card transaction. Chase is racking up the expenses right now, guys.
It's like Giannis going to the hoop.
I've got $10 here from Colectivo. I guess that's coffee and snackies.
Yeah.
I've got $66 here from the hair salon. What the hell did the kid get done to his hair for $66?
You know what that sounds like? We got a haircut, and then they did their job and sold you on a little product. I mean, he had a hard time saying no. I said, Mom's
Not
paying
really,
anyways.
Because my haircut down here is not quite twice as much as it is back home.
Really? Is that why you come home to get the haircut?
Yes.
You're not really saving money on the flight, though, pal.
But I got a cut next week.
Yeah, you gotta.
Do you know what?
You gotta check on the properties and things like that.
Do you know how much my haircut is down here? And this is with tip and everything.
$87.
$120.
Whoa!
I mean, that is
what? Expensive.
Yeah,
let me keep going through the old charges here on the AMX. $93 at Best Buy. Now, I told Gabe, I think I can justify that. I think that is, I told him to buy AirTags.
And those aren't cheap.
No, but they're valuable.
Yes.
Right? You throw them on your key, you throw them in your wallet. You might even throw it sometimes in the car, like depending on what. I mean, if Ashton had thrown an AirTag in his car back in the day.
That's still not preventing anybody from stealing it.
Yeah, but you know where it is when to steal it. That's the point.
Sometimes you don't want to find it, Joshy.
I got $38 here from Clark, the gas station down the street.
Okay.
Oh, so you're cool with him using your money for his gas?
No, he is supposed to be paying for his gas. Again, Chase turned 16 within the last month or so. He's supposed to be paying for his gas. And then I got $30 here at Pick and Save. So not egregious, right? We're not talking about like StockX or sneakers.com or something like that. But, he is whipping out the plastic occasionally as he's bopping around town, Chew. How should I handle this?
You sit down and have a little talk. Like I take my daughter, who, once again, a little out of control on Amazon. I mean, what the hell does she need a Shrek costume for?
I mean,
how do you know she bought a Shrek costume?
Because I look at purchases.
If it's October 21st, I can make that make sense,
I would
too.
get it.
I can make that.
But it's February.
February 21st. I've got a lot of questions.
They do have Shrek parties and Shrek raves that kids go to. I don't know why that's become a thing.
How the hell do you know this?
Because they've done it at the park in Bayview. They would host that. I was walking the dog once and I saw a bunch of people in Shrek costumes dancing to the Smash Mouth song, and I said, that's an interesting thing going on. And then they do it at
Josh became a believer.
They do it at the rave as well.
To be
there's
fair,
a whole thing.
Of all of us here, and I'll include part-time Will, who's hanging out back there behind the glass with Joshy. Josh is the one that would know that. Of the five of us. That makes perfect sense to me. I was in the car the other day and the Smash Mouth song came on, and Kira, my 5-year-old, goes, "Oh, this is my favorite song. I said, what? She goes, it's from Shrek. Daddy showed me the movie. I was like, oh, jeez. Okay, well, it's a good movie. It's not a great song. It's
What?
What?
I'm a Believer? You're not a big fan of I'm a Believer?
Now you're going to... It's fine.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's not a good song.
She said it was her favorite song,
Well, yeah, she's
Gabe.
5. It doesn't have to be your favorite song, but that doesn't mean it's a bad song.
Oh, so you think she was just exaggerating for effect? She learned
You're
from
telling
me.
I was about to say, you're telling me 5-year-olds have never exaggerated for effect before?
All right. Again, it's my child, so, you know.
There's some genetics in there.
Exactly. Genetics, and she sees what mom does. It's kind of... So, Chew, I just have a conversation with Chase then and say, hey, you have the card. It's an in case of emergencies card.
Yeah.
And...
Well, what if it was an emergency and he was really hungry and had to spend the $30 at Pick and Save?
Fine. I'm fine with food. Food is fine. He can eat food. But what about the haircut? And it was an emergency haircut.
Yeah, the haircut's tough. The haircut's tougher to, and you can even, I guess it would be harder to pitch, like, it was an emergency, I was running out of gas, Mom, I didn't want to be like you, so I had to fill up. But like,
what's a
he should have
normal-
his own card for that, right?
Gabe, what's a normal haircut? How much is a normal haircut?
So mine, when I throw in the tip, is, because I also have them trim my beard, so mine, when I throw in the tip, is like $50.
What? That's how much a normal haircut costs?
That's how much my haircut costs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a salon's going to be different, but you can get it for $30 easy.
Yeah.
Well,
mine would be if I didn't do the beard trim. Like that's obviously
there's
an extra
plenty
cost.
of places that do men's haircuts that aren't charging you an arm and a leg.
$20?
I'm sure you could find one.
But also, again, of all the people on the show, you have the most money to spend, Chew. So, like, the fact that you want to cheap out on your haircut, like, no, don't. Keep doing what you're doing. It seems to be working
but
just fine for you.
$120.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That seems. It's not like he's got anything special.
Do you blame me for flying home?
Listen, that's the craziest crap you do, man. You fly home for it. Like, we used to give Jason Wilde a tough time because he would drive down here for
Drive to
haircuts.
Madison,
You know, and it was like an hour and a half from his house for his haircut. You're hopping on a plane. Wait, am I following this correctly? You're going to be here then? You're going to be back here for a haircut next week?
No, I got one at the salon down here next week. The one back home is like April 1st.
Okay. All right.
But you don't want to lose your...
You schedule your haircut appointments 2 out?
I don't. Someone else does.
I was gonna say, your life is centered around haircuts. It's preposterous.
Speaking of haircutting, breaking news, Yankees change policy will allow facial hair after 49 years.
It's insane. And the insane part is, like, everybody had already shaved to show up to camp.
Yeah. They got Devin Williams out there looking like a naked mole rat. His chinny chin. He doesn't look like an intimidating closer anymore without that hair in his chin, and now he's got to grow back.
Maybe that's why they're letting them grow them. They looked at Devin Williams and were like, oh, this is not going to work.
This ain't closer
This
face.
is not going to work.
Nobody's intimidated by
That
this.
is an incredible point by you. There is a such thing as closer face.
Uh-huh.
That's what face?
Grimy.
Closer face, Chew.
What is that?
You have to look a certain way to be a closer. So much of what you do, obviously, in addition to having incredible stuff, is being intimidating as you walk out there on the mound. It's why they do the songs. It's why they do the whole thing. It's why it's a whole production. You can't have babyface Devin Williams out there trying to, scare you with his with the arm bender.
Save for Mariano Rivera, who could not have facial hair. Every great closer you think of, they look just dirty and mean and mad and a little disheveled. And that's the guy you want in the ninth inning.
He's a little crazy. I don't know what he's going to do.
He's staring you down. He's got the beard, maybe a little sweat dripping off of it. Can't be naked chin out there.
Never heard of that.
This is the very best take ever on this program. Okay, well, it was going well. We got to take a break. We got to get to Week in Rechew. We'll check in and see how Chewy is feeling about Week in Rechew right after this.
Let me tell you about our good friends at the Ewald Automotive Group. The best used cars are available right now, starting under $15,000. Choose from hundreds of hand-selected quality used vehicles, all with a 133-point inspection, all with a 3-day exchange policy, and all starting under $15,000. Best used cars starting at under $15,000. It's only at the Ewald Automotive Group, and with Ewald, they always make it easy. Just go to the website, ewaldauto.com.
I'm a believer, and not a trace of doubt in my mind.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Looks like all of our delays have pretty much eased up across the entire area. I'm not really seeing any delays right now. Just a broken down vehicle on the northbound side of 4394 just before you get to the Plainfield curve. Other than that, everything else is rolling along just fine. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, sunny skies with a high of 28. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 12 at the lake, 7 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The wait is over. Brewers baseball is back. Time to pick your Brewers games and get back to the ballpark for tailgate traditions and walk-off wins. Be here for opening day. Come back for the big games and the best giveaways. Where else would you want to be? Brewers tickets for the 2025 season are on sale now. That's opening day and every game, all summer long. Get on board for the show today. Grab your seats at brewers.com/ticket finder.
Guys, let's talk about something important. That's you. Hey, it's Brad Norman. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa's here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step toward a more confident you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
When it comes to used cars, there's the rest. Then there's the best. Shop Ewald Automotive Group's best used cars right now, starting under $15,000. Choose from hundreds of hand-selected quality used vehicles, all with a 133-point inspection, all with a 3-day exchange policy, all starting under $15,000. Forget the rest. Drive the best. Get Ewald's best used cars starting under $15,000.
Go to ewaldauto.com.
See dealer for complete details. Exclusions may apply.
An infrared sauna in your house? Turn that dream into a reality with Good Health Saunas. ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here. My infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas has changed my life. An easy-to-install sauna that's great for post-workout, travel, or long-day detoxification. Using Good Health Saunas can help reduce stress, improve circulation, and make your skin glow. You can see the variety of sauna options for yourself at goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen, and you can get $500 to $800 off your purchase. That's goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You called them a white stiff earlier.
From one white stiff to another. I'm pretty well versed in the realm of stiffs.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Can I ask you guys a question? Where do you guys stand on disrespect?
Famously out on it.
Yeah.
Unless I'm the one doing the disrespecting, in which case
So-
I'm in.
Yeah, all the way in.
So, Jen, I don't know if you know this, but the Spaniard is in town with his lovely wife.
Yes, Gabe did tell me. And what would he be in town for? Let me think. Oh, it's your birthday.
Yeah.
He's in town to see a magician.
Hey, I already got yelled at. We got rats out there. But she won't tell me who the rat is. I thought I knew who the rat is, but it said it wasn't that rat. So the disrespectful part of it is, so my studio here would be considered a pretty big bedroom. Not a master or anything, but a pretty big bedroom with a full bathroom in it. So the Spaniard's in here listening to the show. He decides to go into the bathroom and back one out. So I'm like battling smell here. I'm not going to do this. So I'm like, on a level of disrespect, isn't that like way up there? Way up there.
Yeah, but I feel like this is like... this is what dudes do.
I mean, what are we doing here?
That's what
he
dudes
goes
do.
in there and shuts the door.
Yeah.
And then just methane, nothing but methane coming out of that.
You want to go to the main house and then get yelled at by your wife?
Yeah.
No, it's better to get you mad. What does he care if you're mad?
Holy lettuce. All right, we can do Reach-You now.
Think you know the show better than the average ESPN Milwaukee fan? Now's your chance to prove it. It's time to play The Week in Reach-You.
Oh, my God.
Oh, is he a beaut? Okay, Gabe.
I'm out.
You're okay.
I'm out.
Before we get to Reach-You, if the situation was reversed, you would have done the exact same thing.
Absolutely. But you know what? Mine smell wonderful.
Oh,
everyone
yes, I'm
loves
sure.
their own brand.
All right. Got 5 questions of things you said throughout the course of the week. Chew, you get 3 right, you win. You get 3 wrong, you lose. Let's start with the first question. Joshy.
Are you pregnant?
What phrase did Jen use that made you ask if she was pregnant?
Are you pregnant?
That's a good one, Joshy.
Oh gosh, I remember early in the week. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Are you pregnant? I'm having trouble thinking here.
I knew he was going to use an excuse.
Chemical warfare, if you will.
He was going to use it as an excuse. A pregnant pause. Pregnant pause
that's right.
was the phrase.
What's a pregnant pause? I've heard of it, but I have no idea what it means. Is it when you tell whoever the dad is, you pause before you tell them?
No, it's when you go on maternity leave. I'm taking a pregnancy pause.
Okay.
A pregnant pause is, you know that long period of time we let you sink there? That's a pregnant pause, a long pause.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, you learn something every day.
We'll see if you actually retain that one, though. Question number 2, Joshy.
And you being from Aguanago should know that very well.
What does being from Aguanago make Josh an expert on?
Oh, it could be so many things.
I know. Was it trucks? Something to do with trucks?
Yeah, trucks. And or we'd have also accepted the full answer, trucks that, quote, roll coal.
Roll call, okay. Roll call. That was good.
All right, you're 1 for 2. Pivotal question number 3, audio Josh.
But you got to hold on a little bit, right?
You do.
I mean, you got to think, which I typically don't like to do.
What do you typically not like to do?
And that one, I don't even remember saying it. What day was that?
Well, I heard Jen's voice, so we were all here. So I think it was
Monday,
Tuesday. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Can you play it again?
But you got to hold on a little bit, right?
You do.
I mean,
I
you got to
think that's
think,
fair.
which I typically don't like to do.
See, I just assumed he was talking about think. You got to think, comma, which is what I typically don't like to do,
He has
comma.
to think during something.
Okay.
I thought I was actually physically holding on while doing something. That's wrong?
Not close.
Like what, backing one out?
Hey, Jen, there's nothing like a handicap stall. I'll tell you that right now.
Get spread out. Spread your legs out there, too.
There's
handle.
no way
yeah.
I'm making it through this entire segment with you two. There's no way. I don't know this one. Do you know this one, Chew?
No.
So you only have think as the answer, Josh.
So the answer is think during Severance. Your new favorite TV show.
Yes.
You liked it, but you don't because it makes you think, and it's thinking too late in the day.
I'm on 3. I don't know if I'm going to make it.
It'll start to pick up.
It's tricky.
It'll start to pick up.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thinking part.
Yeah, the thinking part is tough. The thinking part always exists, so that doesn't go away.
Okay.
Sorry, pal.
What am I? 1 and 2?
1 and 2, so you got to get the last 2
Okay.
right, and I don't feel great about this next one, Josh.
Is that Wiz Khalifa?
Name one Wiz Khalifa song.
Black and Yellow.
I did not see that guy. Did not see that coming.
You know what, Josh? You should ask for 2. Okay? You should ask for 2.
Damn.
Wow. All right. We're back in this thing.
Chewy's still
This
alive.
is very much like the USA-Canada game last night.
Tied it up.
Alive. Last question starts with the audio.
Looks like I'm going to purchase a plane before 2000. Oh, the asteroid. Wow.
What
Right?
will you be buying a plane for is the question, and the correct answer is to avoid the potential asteroid.
What a
the
comeback.
hell did I miss? Good Lord.
What, you
Magic
weren't here?
shows and
He just hit a big 3 and then came down and heat checked one.
Drained it. Don't you know that there's going to be an asteroid that's going to hit Earth? And we got to kind of figure
Well, there's
out the
important
stay out of its way.
3.1% chance that an asteroid is going to be hitting Earth in 2032.
3.1% chance, Chewy.
It's the highest percent ever.
All right. Okay. How many times do you see at the end of the game, X team has a 99.3 chance of winning the game and they wind up losing?
Yeah. It happens, but when
That's what I'm
happens, we screen grab the probability and throw it up on social media. We're not doing that regularly. Think of how many games are taking place on a daily basis. Yes. Does the team come back from a 96+% chance of winning?
Yeah.
They do, but it's not all that often.
The important part here to remember is Chewy's plan, in case there is an asteroid, is just to go up in the air and apparently stay up there until all the coast
impact.
is cleared.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where you
And
could
then-
just leave
and then
the impact zone.
Come back to Earth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously not where the asteroid hit, but yeah, someplace else.
Yeah, landed
Let
somewhere.
me tell you what.
where he's
I'm all
nice and
about
safe.
being proactive. And if you guys carry this attitude through, you're not coming on the plane.
I'm pretty sure
How
that was
proactive were you to
already
avoid your current situation?
established.
We're too proactive there.
Try and find some space in the luggage area on the bottom.
How is it over there? On a scale of 1 to 10, what are we dealing with?
Who are you talking to?
You!
The stench,
About
buddy.
what? About what?
What did we start the segment with?
With the smell.
I don't know.
The smell. How
the
bad is
smell.
the smell? 1 to 10.
I got to go get Lysol or something.
So like an
something
8
in
for
air
breeze?
freshener.
7, 8?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a 10 because you're not dead.
It's a stressed poop, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you guys, I'm assuming
know what I mean?
I'm assuming you guys were out drinking last night.
Travel, things of that nature.
Yeah. You're not eating the
Yeah.
best.
Got a little gurgle in the tummy.
Had to clear it out before the coffee went
Yeah,
down.
it's not good. It's like when your dad backs one out, you're like, oh, wow. Remember those days? Gabe,
I do.
Come on.
No, I'm-
Everyone remembers those days.
Yeah.
I mean, your brother's one thing, your sisters are a little but your dad's is like, and then he'd spray like, who uses Lysol? Like old Lysol.
And then, then it
You
just
know?
smells like the bad Lysol.
Well,
in
famously,
combination with
the guy from Friday. Gabe, go ahead.
Yeah. It's Dame time, season 4 of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher. Explore Bucks superstar Damian Lillard's unlikely journey from a 2-star high school prospect to a top 75 player in NBA history. The series, narrated by senior NBA insider Chris Haynes, reveals exclusive details of Dame's trade to the Bucks and experience with the team. Find Behind the Bucks, bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
At the Knickerbocker Hotel, we believe your stay should be as convenient and luxurious as possible. Whether you're planning a small meeting or a special event, our versatile space is perfect for any occasion. Start your day with a delicious meal at the Nick Restaurant and Bar, or unwind at the Nick Salon and Spa. Wanting to stay active? Their 24-hour fitness center is always available. If you need something custom-made or alterations made, there's a tailor on site. The Knickerbocker, where every detail is designed with your comfort in mind. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockeronthelake.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Get ready for upsets, buzzer beaters, and unforgettable moments as college basketball heats up at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Hey, it's Jen Latta. I'm here with Sarah Neubauer from Potawatomi Casino Hotel, and it looks like the Sportsbook is getting ready for March already, Sarah.
Yeah, we got reservations now available for the big tournament coming up, and we have premium seating and standard seating in the Potawatomi Sportsbook and full couch sections to reserve in our annex.
All right, tell me about these reservations. How do you do it? What's the timing? Give me all of it.
You can make reservations by going to paysbig.com/sportsbook, then click reservations. You'll then see day or evening options to choose from. The day bookings start at 10:30 a.m. and go until 5:30 p.m. And the evening bookings start at 5:45 and go until 11:45 p.m. So that's your space for the entire time.
So you have to pay to reserve your spot?
You will be prompted to pay for your reservation, but that cost goes directly to your food and beverage minimum for those 5+ hours.
Oh, that's a great deal. And you mentioned the annex before. What's going on in the annex?
There will be games airing in the annex, which is adjacent to the sports book. It features 3 high-def projection screens and multiple 85-inch high-def TVs. There's comfortable seating, betting kiosks, and those couch sections are available for reservations as well. Additional seating is first come, first serve.
Yeah, we were there for the big game. What a great spot that is if you can't be in the sports book. Okay, so what if you're looking for more of a casual experience to watch the games this March?
Yeah, check out our Rock and Brews restaurant, which will be airing the games on over 20 high-def TVs and a big projection screen. Plus, we'll have a $20 bucket of 5 domestic beers drink special here and at the sportsbook.
Where can everyone go to learn more, Sarah?
paysbig.com/sportsbook.
paysbig.com/sportsbook.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee. It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Bubble is a
Tuna.
dating app.
It's tuna.
I love tuna. I had some last night.
How do you eat your tuna?
Can we, for once, grow up on this show?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
Now, you guys remember me talking about being at the State Fair and seeing a sauna. We've all had those moments walking through an expo center thinking, man, that'd be kind of cool to have. Let me just check it out. And that's what I did with Good Health Saunas. Checked out a sauna, thought, I'm going to buy this. And then they were like, do you know anybody else who wants a sauna? I said, I think I do. It feels great to use after my workouts. It feels awesome having extra energy and flexibility. And I got to tell you guys, look, you know, I care about my skin. I care about how it looks. I care about the aging process. But more importantly, I care about my sleep. And the best sleep I ever get is after I have spent some time in the Good Health sauna, just sort of detoxifying. So if you're in the same space as me and you're thinking, what can I do to get better sleep? A Good Health Sauna is an answer. You can find the infrared sauna for you at goodhealthsaunas.com. And if you add /Jen, there's a discount going on right now, anywhere between $500 to $800 off your next Good Health Saunas. GoodHealthSaunas.com/Jen to check them out. We put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll this morning. Who, of all the people on the show, if Chewy found himself in hot water, would he blame? So if Chewy got in trouble, a la Bobby Portis with the 25-game suspension, if you missed any of that conversation, we did have it this morning in the first hour of the show. If Chewy got in trouble, which of the folks here would he blame for his problems? Chew, why don't you answer it first and foremost? Who would you blame?
Well, first would be Ashton.
Didn't even make the poll.
Really?
Then?
Craig.
Also not on the poll.
Then?
Okay. Probably Joshy.
Really? I just assumed it was me.
I did vote Gabe in the poll.
I just assumed it was me.
Because you're sort of his go-to.
Yeah.
You know, like, Gabe, what's that website again? Google. How do I get to Google?
If Chewy got in trouble, I feel like I would just blame myself.
Joshy I'd blame without letting anyone know, or I'd try to sneak it so he didn't know that I was blaming him. Gabe I'd just blame, and then Jen, you're mean, so I wouldn't blame you.
Okay, then.
You know what? That's the first time being mean has worked out for me, so I'll take it. According to the poll results, people knew that apparently. 60% of respondents guessed Joshy, that Joshy would get the blame. Joshy, would you care to weigh in on the fact that people think that Chewy would blame you if he got himself in hot water?
I don't think he actually would. I think my guy would blame everyone else first. I think they've misdiagnosed it. How often do you blame me for stuff? I feel like you blame Ashton for everything.
Yeah.
Well,
Gabe next.
Joshy,
Yes.
I think it's a producer thing because you guys think no one else could do your job, and it was clear that I could do your job the one time I took over, and I don't get credit for it.
Joshy over here calling you my guy in this very segment.
To get Seward.
Yep.
Just to get
my guy.
absolutely destroyed.
He is my guy, right?
Maybe that's
starting to question. Maybe someone else's
You thought
guy
so?
here. Yeah.
Thought so.
But Gabe, are you also having a reaction to this as well? Because you sort of thought you were Chewy's guy.
I know. I know the truth. At the end of the day, if Chewy got himself in hot water, or if something happened with Chewy, I would take the fall. I just know this. Yeah, like we all know this. It's just, again, I'm the one who blew up his phone, deleted the contacts, right? Like, if Chewy got in hot water, it would be on me. Because I should know better, and I should not have put Chewy in that position.
And that's how management thinks. Because it's never my fault.
Wait,
It's
your
always
management?
Gabe's fault. No, I'm saying, like, the higher-ups in the station, like, wow, that's kind of on Gabe. He should know not to say that word on
So
the
you know
air.
what's interesting is I've been operating from a place of Chewy doesn't know that nobody blames him for everything, that they're always like, but now it sounds like you do know that. It sounds like you do know
He uses
that
it to his advantage.
you've got
I
this
take
golden
advantage of that?
ticket, buddy, that you're just walking around with over here. And
Like, I'll give you an example, Jen. We just got the handbook. I signed it. I did my job. They said I didn't sign it in enough places. I ain't doing it. Gabe, that's on you.
Yeah, see? Exactly.
now I feel better about my vote. I voted for Gabe.
Really?
Just because 60% of people think it's Joshy
Like-
doesn't mean I should be swayed in my vote.
Like, Jen, when my key fob wouldn't work to the gym in the building, that is all Gabe. Right, Gabe?
That's my fault.
That
Yep,
was your
I gotta
fault.
fix it.
Yep. And he did. He fixed it.
And until it got fixed, I had to walk with him to the gym so I could
Yep,
scan
to
my
let me
fob
in.
to let Chewy in.
Yep.
It does sort of feel a little like the droplets of water, though, guys. Like drip, drip, drip.
Think Gabe's going to have an
drip.
explosion?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if we need to just be very careful.
The most interesting thing here is we all pretend like it should be Gabe's fault and that Chewy, everyone knows to a person that, yeah, Chewy's pushing the limits and he's just going to fall back on I didn't know better. And you can't really prove it, but he knows, management knows, we know, but we're all just kind of playing a game here. It's all just a little convenient game we got going on to keep the apple cart from being upset too much.
Well, right, because this morning, what was the thing you were saying, Chew? Email, delete, email, delete, email, delete.
Yes.
The guy checks his email once a day and is, I have to delete things.
because it comes up on my screen here and it blocks your beautiful face, Joshy, and I don't want that to happen.
Okay, so
See,
trying
he
to
knows.
get back
Just
to
use a
it,
different tab.
ingratiated. Yeah, now he called you beautiful. That's got to earn him some brownie points.
Yeah, he knows when to suck up.
I'm not falling for this.
We're back together.
Wait, I'm breaking up. I want out.
Too late. Too late. He declared you guys back together. Now you got to be together for the weekend.
You think you got to say in this stuff, Joshy?
Fair.
Whoa, that was your first mistake. All right, Wilde and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back with you on Monday.